There is something very strange happening right now. An epidemic of burnout and chronic fatigue is sweeping through the most talented, hardworking, and intelligent people around us. But the thing is, this destruction, it's extremely hard to see. I mean, they still go to work, they meet project deadlines, they smile on calls, get promoted, and look as if they are in complete control of their lives. So, what is really going on here? How can millions of successful professionals feel like absolute failures at the peak of their careers? Well, today, let's explore the psychology of imposter syndrome and how it inevitably leads to burnout. If you have ever achieved a goal but felt only anxiety instead of joy, you'll probably recognize yourself in this video. Stay with me until the end to understand how to break this destructive cycle. Deconstructing the paradox. To understand why successful people break down, we really need to reconsider how we usually perceive competence. Look, imposter syndrome is not just self doubt, it is a deep, paralyzing belief that your achievements are just the result of chance, luck, or that you have simply tricked everyone. Psychology research shows a striking paradox known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with low levels of qualification often overestimate their abilities, but people with high intelligence and rich experience, well, on the contrary, they tend to underestimate their skills. You see, the more you know about your profession, the clearer you see how much you still do not know. And at this moment, a conflict arises. The outside world tells you you are an expert, but your inner voice screams, you know nothing, and soon they will all find out. Invisible barriers. Now, this state does not just appear out of nowhere. It is the result of thought patterns that have been forming for years. To understand how the imposter takes over the mind, let's look at two main barriers that distort our reality. Barrier 1, the illusion of others' ease. We live in a culture where it is customary to show only the final result. I mean, on LinkedIn or Instagram, we see others' triumphs, successful launches, and brilliant case studies, right? But no one posts about the sleepless nights, panic attacks, or stupid mistakes. And so, as a result, we compare our internal reality, full of doubts and rough drafts, with someone else's external showcase. And in this comparison, we always lose. Barrier 2, devaluing achievements or the moving baseline. As soon as a person with imposter syndrome masters a complex skill, their brain immediately changes the rules of the game. What seemed like an incredible achievement yesterday is labeled as the baseline today. Well, if I could do it, then it wasn't that hard, they think. Anyone could have done it. Because of this barrier, a person can never really enjoy success. The finish line is constantly pushed back. The trap and escapism. And this is exactly where the most dangerous stage begins. Living in constant fear of being exposed requires tremendous psychological effort. To protect themselves, a person with imposter syndrome falls into the perfect trap of overworking. Their logic goes a little something like this: I am not as smart as they think. Therefore, to make up for it, I must work twice as hard as others. They start taking on other people's tasks. They check reports 5 times. They reply to emails at 1 a.m. This hypercompensation actually does bring results. Bosses are happy, the career takes off. But the price of this success is a ruined nervous system. Honestly, burnout is not just exhaustion from working long hours, it is the bankruptcy of the soul. It's the moment when the psyche simply has no more energy left to maintain the heavy mask of a perfect professional. Instead of admitting the problem, many choose escapism. They might sabotage their own projects, delay important tasks until the last minute, so that in case of failure, they can say, I just didn't have time, or retreat into complete emotional numbness. 5 steps to freedom from the imposter. Understanding. This mechanic is only the first step. How do you stop running from an imaginary exposure and save yourself from burnout? Well, here are 5 practical steps that will help you rebuild your relationship with your own success. Step 1. Separate feelings from facts. Your brain is going to tell you that you are incompetent. Do not try to argue with emotions. Argue with facts. Create a physical or digital achievement folder. Save thank you emails from clients, successful metrics, certificates, and feedback from colleagues there. When panic sets in, open this folder. Feelings say, I am a fraud. Facts say, I brought profit to the company and successfully closed 10 projects. Lean on the facts. Step 2. Change your internal metric. Imposter syndrome thrives when your goal is to be a genius who knows everything from the start. Replace this unrealistic goal with the mindset of a lifelong student. Being a professional does not mean having all the answers. It means having the tools to find those answers. A mistake no longer makes you a fake. It makes you a human who is learning. Step 3. Expose your rough drafts. The fear of exposure feeds on isolation. We fear that we are the only broken ones. Start sharing the process, not just the result. Find a colleague or friend you trust and honestly say, hey, I am working on this task right now and I feel like I have absolutely no idea where to start. You will be surprised how often you hear a sigh of relief in response in the words, God, I thought I was the only one feeling this way. Vulnerability breaks isolation. Step 4. Set the good enough boundary. Perfectionism is a direct path to burnout. To stop hypercompensating, you need to learn how to define the criteria for adequate quality before starting work. Ask yourself, what result would be adequate for this task? Do the work to 80%. In most cases, that 80% is exactly the 100% that the world needs. The remaining 20%, it just burns through your health. Step 5. Claim your own luck. Imposters often say, oh, I was just lucky to be in the right place. Well, maybe luck really did play a role, but luck knocks on many doors. You were the one who opened that door. It was your skills that allowed you to hold on to that position. Tell yourself, yes, the circumstances were favorable, but I did the hard work to take advantage of that opportunity. In the end, imposter syndrome is really just a side effect of growth. If you feel it, it is a sure sign that you have stepped out of your comfort zone, that you are growing and challenging yourself. The real problem is not that this voice of doubt exists. The problem is that we let it take the wheel of our lives while it drives us straight toward burnout. Self-doubt is normal, but you do not have to prove your right to exist through exhausting labor. If you recognize yourself in these words, just stop. Take a deep breath. You are exactly where you deserve to be, and you've got this.